Hello, it's Michael Behrens here at Travis Audubon's Chaetura Canyon Preserve, stewarded by Paul and Georgianne Kyle. It's February 7th, 2021, on a beautiful, cold, clear morning, about 8:40. It's about a little over like 41, 42 degrees is what my car thermometer said when I arrived. I've already gotten to hear and see a golden-fronted woodpecker that even though I recorded that before this introduction, I'll probably put it in after. I usually like to keep these clips in sequential order, but that one will be a little out of order. And I'm at the nature blind, the windows on nature blind here, and I'm going to start out here, see what I see in here. There's still some dawn chorus going on, lots of northern cardinals, like on my hat, lots of northern cardinals singing. I hear a phoebe and white-winged doves. I briefly heard an orange-crowned warbler chipping after I came through the gate, and I can't wait to explore the canyon this morning and see what I could find. This is a golden-fronted woodpecker, one of the resident species in and around Chaetura Canyon, Travis Audubon's Chaetura Canyon Wildlife Preserve in southwest Austin. Golden-fronted woodpeckers are a southwestern species, and they're similar to red-bellied woodpeckers, and those two species represent a pair of eastern and western species. Red-bellied is eastern, golden-fronted is western. And here in central Texas, their ranges overlap, and so much so that you can find golden-fronted woodpeckers in West Austin, not East Austin. And here I think red-bellied at Chaetura Canyon, red-bellied is the expected species. Very cool to see this guy perched up on a utility pole first thing in the morning, about 8:30, 8:45 a.m. on a cool, clear morning, and get to see and hear him vocalize. I'm still right by the windows on nature blind, really haven't started down the trail, and I'm hearing a red-breasted nuthatch. Sort of like a toy horn. Here's one of a pair of red-breasted nuthatches that's been wintering on Chaetura Canyon. I cheated, I played the toy horn call he's making right now. I played it just once and he came right in, he or she. You can see the faint red breast, the stripes on the head. When you play bird recordings to attract birds, it wastes their energy. You know, this is not really another nuthatch that this bird is after, but it's occasionally justifiable, in my opinion, to document a species and to be able to share it. And this is This is an excited bird. It heard what it thought was another nuthatch. There's just been this one and maybe another here all winter. It's pretty remarkable. The Kyles have gotten one or two nuthatches every winter for the past few years. Oh, you can see a little bit of the bluish back. Even when other parts of central Texas don't see nuthatches all winter. Oh, we found a little food. It was so much fun seeing that nuthatch and hearing it. And I'm hearing it faintly now and then still. I'm not sure whether there are one or two. I'm hearing black-crested titmouse as well. And nuthatches are related to titmice and chickadees, and you can kind of hear it in their sounds and see it in their actions, how they move and their body proportions. Like I started to say while I was recording the close-up of the nuthatch, it's an eruptive species here in central Texas. You know, some winters we don't see them at all. And some winters we see a few around, and for whatever reason, a couple have taken a real liking to the Kyle's Chaetura Canyon here and have been reliably coming back every winter for several years now. So it's a real treat to get to see and hear at least one of them and share it. Starting down the lower canyon trail. It's really dramatic, this steep descent. It sounds like the birds have quieted down just now for some reason, maybe because I started talking. I hear the nuthatch, the yellow-rumped warbler. Really nice stepped trail maintained by Paul and Georgianne Kyle. As I descend, even though it was relatively quiet up at the top, I'm noticing just an even greater lack of background noise. I hear a ruby-crowned kinglet. It's typewriter call off to my left. Here we are. The bottom of the canyon. Climbing up on one of the switchbacks trails along the canyon. Never noticed, or maybe I just never thought about it before, this fallen cedar tree. Don't know how long ago it fell. Looks like it could have been quite a while. And look at the rocks this tree had grown around that it picked up and carried with it as it fell. Don't know why that's never caught my eye before. Really neat, showing how the roots of a tree really grip the earth they grow into. There's a blue-headed vireo I spotted by the Kyle's house from the lower trail. Here's the blue-headed vireo again in slow motion, since my original clip was so short. A little out of focus, but a neat bird to have captured in the Chaetura Canyon. Here's a nice look at 4 pine siskins at one of the Kyle's feeders. See how streaky there? Oh, there's a lovely male lesser goldfinch that joined them. This has been a really remarkable winter for pine siskins. I've never seen so many in the Austin area as we've had this winter. This is one of the many feeders the Kyles have set up near their house. Pine siskins, you see how streaky they are. Same size, maybe a little bit bigger than a lesser goldfinch. And they have yellow in their wings. You can see more when they spread their wings. Some have more yellow than others. I've gotten a chance to, oh, that was neat. You could see the yellow stripe on that left bird's wings as it interacted with the right bird. On the top bird, you can see a little more yellow now. There's an American goldfinch on the left. American goldfinch just here in the winter. They're starting to get some color. This is one of the pine siskin sounds I've gotten to learn better this winter. Here's that on top, another pine siskin. Very fun. Look at that yellow face on the on the American goldfinch. It's mostly in its winter plumage still, but starting to get a little more colorful, a little more yellow here in early February. Really fun. I'm back at the Kyle's front gate. Not back there. I didn't start out here, but I thought I'd stop by from the outside. And I don't know if I hope my microphone is picking it up. Just the constant sounds of pine siskins and American goldfinches. Zzz. Keep saying this so many times in the recordings I've been making in the last month or two. So many pine siskins this winter. And it's really neat to see and hear them all. At Chaetura Canyon, you have to rely on your ears a lot more than in a lot of other places because of the dense woods, the dense oak juniper woods that fill the canyon. You often can't see very far, and there are so many dense twigs and branches that you can't really see through them. And the birds enjoy that. The birds use that for safety from the aerial predators like Cooper's hawks and sharp-shinned hawks. So they find a lot of safety in these dense woods. Here's something I was not expecting. Mid-morning, a little before 11 a.m. to encounter a gray fox. Its eyes are closed. Looks like it's enjoying the sun. Doesn't seem too concerned with me. is. Although it was a little bit concerned with me, otherwise it wouldn't have been walking off. And there he goes. Wow, what a treat. It's 11 a.m. and I'm back at my car, having enjoyed a really fun morning at Chaetura Canyon. I got to see the at least one of the two red-breasted nuthatches. Had called it in with a recording and got some video footage, and later I was hearing it along with some chickadees and titmice, and did a little pitching, and that nuthatch came right up to me, like I could almost reach out and touch it, and it was too close for my camera. I just stayed still and enjoyed watching it, checking me out, looking for the cause of the alarm that I was mimicking. And then he took off, and he'd satisfied himself with finding the source of the disturbance. Subsequent pitching did not bring him back. And then I briefly got to see a blue-headed vireo near the Kyle's residence. And when I came back up out of the canyon section, I made a quick trip through the upper section across the street, and wow, just was really thrilled to get to see a gray fox. And I think it must have been just dozing in the sun. It was in this sunny spot, and I was across the open field area, walking the trail, and it looked up, and it wouldn't even open its eyes all the way for a little bit. And I bet it was really annoyed that I was walking through there and disturbing its sleep in the sun. And finally it got up and kind of slowly walked and trotted off a little bit to another part in the preserve. So I felt a little bit sad for disturbing that fox's sleep, but more thrilled just to be able to see it, and especially a late morning, when something like that is usually, foxes are usually nocturnal or crepuscular, active at dawn and dusk. So what an enjoyable morning. So glad to be able to record some of it and share it with you.